some poems from Paul Holroyd.
Thank you. The definition of a vegan is someone who cares, someone compassionate, someone who dares to stand up for animals, someone aware of the awful conditions and lives that are theirs. It's easy to be one, but easy or not depends on the ethics and morals you've got, and that's what defines you. Let's not split hairs. You'll only be vegan if you're someone who cares. I'm going to start with, as I usually do, a public apology on behalf of vegans everywhere. I'm sorry to animals everywhere for the part I played in your death. I'm taking the blame and feeling the shame for paying toward your last breath. I've been wearing your skin and eating your kin for so many years before seeing that you're worth so much more. Now I can't ignore you're an innocent, sentient being. I have no excuse for the awful abuse. I was selfish, just didn't think. I know it's not fair, but I thought you were there to provide us with food and a drink. I'll never forget that I owe you a debt that I'll never be able to pay. Guilt grips my heart, and it tears it apart as you're still being murdered today. Your sacrifice is the ultimate price, and we're fighting to alter your fate. We're telling your truth and showing the proof, but for most, it's already too late. You were born on death row, and you're going to go to the slaughter before very long. I'm sorry. It's clear that you're living in fear, and I'm sorry it's taking so long. I'm sorry to animals everywhere for the lives you're forced into giving. I'm ashamed of my race and our awful disgrace of making you die for a living. So I'm making the choice to lend you my voice, though it never could right all my wrongs. I'll speak up for you all, but deep down, most of all, I'm sorry it took me so long. I'm going to read a few now. We're marching today for animal rights, joining the fight for an animal's right to be free from fright, to sleep safely at night. It's a simple plight. We're here today for animal rights, to try and incite an end to the blight of humanity's might, and try to ignite a future that's bright. We don't mean an animal's right to vote, or drive a car, or sail a boat. We're talking about an animal's right to feel they're worth more than a meal or a new leather coat. We fight for an animal's right to be free from the chains of humanity, the right to choose their own destiny, such as it can be in human society, the simple right to live their own lives without being hunted, tortured, and killed, their right to feed their own milk to their babies, and the blood in their bodies is no longer spilled. We're marching today for animal rights, for their right to be free from the butcher's knife. We're marching for an animal's right to be free to decide what they do with their life. We stand for animal equality. They only live once, just like you and like me. We're standing together so the world will see that an end to this cruelty sets us all free. We're marching today for animal rights. Join the fight for an animal's plight, to shine a light on their darkest night, to shine a light and make it bright, to try to incite an end to the blight of humanity's might. We're all here today because we know it's right to be a person who fights for animal rights. Thank you. How come? How come everyone roots for the escaped cow they see running down the road? The whole of social media watch as if it somehow fits their moral code. They'll cheer her on the motorway and cry when she gets caught. They say they hope she'll be okay and admire the way she fought. They'll do all this while tucking into burgers, milk and cheese. How come they fail to realise who is funding things like these? It's like a kidnapper cheering on his victims when he sees that they've escaped, or a murderer's thoughts conflicting, setting free the ones he's raped. How come they can't all see it now? They pay for all this stress. How come they cheer a single cow whilst killing all the rest? I wrote this one a couple of years ago at the Bournemouth NARD, so it's called Our Planet, There's Two. This is our planet. This is where we were born, where we sleep in the night and rise in the morn. This is our planet. This is where we're all from, and where the earth will reclaim us after we're gone. But what of the chickens, the donkeys and goats, The rabbits and dolphins, hedgehogs and stoats? What of the rhinos, turtles and bears, the elephants, snakes and Arctic hares? What of the monkeys, the camels and bees, the lobsters, the fish and the whales in the seas? What of the cows and kangaroos, the lions, the sheep and the cockatoos? What of the victims in slaughterhouse queues or the hunter's prey that we're destined to lose? All of Earth's creatures, no different to you, with only one life that we're struggling through. Yes, this is our planet. That sentence is true. This is our planet, but it's their planet too. We have no rights. What gives us the right to abuse one another, to steal away babies from heartbroken mothers, to smother so much that they never recover from the torture and murder of their sisters and brothers? What gives us the right to breed them at will, to force them to grow so we grow them to kill and to fill up our guts with the guts that they spill, and yet still we expect them to settle the bill? What gives us the right to dress in their skin, to empty their bones so that we can climb in and begin to wear out what we thought was a win, while an innocent soul has been thrown in the bin? What gives us the right to climb on their backs, to force them to run until every bone cracks on the tracks of their tears and their fears of attack from the knackers' yard scavengers' blood-covered sacks? What gives us the right to lock them in cages, to inject our diseases in differing stages, to bind them and blind them, and whilst funding the wages of scientists filling up medical pages? What gives us the right to hunt them with guns, to catch them in traps and to force them to run just for fun, for the sake of a trophy that's won, whilst the vermin is human when all's said and done? What gives us the right to call in a cull when it's us that is making this planet so full, but we pull on a trigger and shatter a skull using words that are covered with shit from the bull? What gives us the right to claim that we care if we pay every day to replay the nightmare, and we share everywhere that we're nice and we're fair, but our actions conflict with the words that we share? What gives us the right? We have no rights. And this last one I'm going to do is it's aimed at everyone that's not vegan, anyone that's listening, anyone that's passing by, and also to myself and everyone here that is vegan, to the person we were before we went vegan. It's called, Did You Hire a Hitman Today? Did you hire a hitman today? Did the money that you spent represent somebody killing someone innocent and sentient? And does that feel fulfilling? Did you pay today to hire an assassin? I'm classing an assassin as someone who kills for money. And maybe you think it's funny that I'm making that comparison, but like soldiers in a garrison who carry some weapons that are funded by you and the things that you do, it's true, it's not you who pulls on the trigger or plunges the blade. You still have to figure it is you who paid for the killing of unwilling victims to be done, to be stabbed with a knife or shot with a gun. Your money is dirty and covered in blood. An accomplice to murder stands where you're stood, and you should feel guilty, ashamed of your part in the tearing apart of a million hearts. Did you hire a killer to process your food, to kidnap and torture the meek and subdued? Did you delude yourself, selfishly giving your cash so a head can be smashed and a throat can be slashed? You're funding the murders of innocent souls whose screams can be heard as the sequence unfolds. The cruel consequences of fate that commences as soon as you pay to commit these offences. You're funding their pain for your sensory gain, and you're paying for slaying again and again. Did you hire a hitman today to take away a life and pay to end 1 million lives a day for the sake of a shake and a takeaway? Thank you very much.